Now we're going to see how the lighting goes today. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a weird light. It's super stormy outside and I've left it to way later in the day than I usually would when it comes to filming, so you know, we'll just have to see. I think I look okay if a little dark, but we'll just see. Hello, my name is Kirsty and welcome to Upside Down Books. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag, and it is one that I only just discovered this morning. On the weekend, as a backstory, I went to see Mamma Mia #2 with my family and I loved it. The musical score is incredible, the story was just as good as the first one, and it was both very funny and very sad. Highly recommend to everyone else out there who hasn't seen it yet but likes Mamma Mia. I first saw this tag on Miss Emma Reads a Lot, which I'll link down below, but it was originally created by Ashley over at ashleyoutpaged. I'm not sure how to say that. But I'll link that all down below for you so you can go check out the original tags. The tag just has 9 questions in it and they are all themed after the titles of all the new songs in the film. Well, not necessarily new songs, but the songs that were in Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. And I'm really excited about it because it means I've been re-listening to all the glories of those songs in my head over again. So I'm just going to dive straight into this tag and we're going to start answering the questions. Question number 1. When I Kissed the Teacher. Name a book with a shocking plot twist. I always have a go-to book when it comes to books with the biggest plot twists, and I'm certain that I've read other ones that have shocked me just as much. Actually, now come to think of it, there are 2, so let's talk about both of them. The first book, and the one that comes to mind front and centre every time, is The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. This is a mystery and I'm really bad at guessing how the plots might turn out, and I was totally surprised by how this one ended. I just didn't see it coming at all, like at all, and I never see anyone else talk about this, but this is such a great like mystery semi-thriller, not really that scary though, and yeah, just really good for playing with your mind, trying to work out what is actually going on throughout the whole thing. The other one that I just remembered, which has to be mentioned, is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Now, I do actually own a copy of this, but I can't for the life of me remember which bookshelf of mine it's on. I have 2, and I can't figure out where on those bookshelves it is. I have looked, but I officially have too many books. I don't think I need to say much about the fact that this is Agatha Christie, so of course it has great plot twists in it, and I was trying and trying, this is like super classic Agatha Christie, this one, to try and work out who's killing off all the people in this book, and I didn't get it. I couldn't guess it, and I think the best thing about this book is Christie actually wrote an afterword explaining it in like a note from the person who was doing it, because I don't think you would have ever understood by just the way the book finishes off, so maybe that should really be my number 1. Question number 2. Waterloo. Name a book you are positive you will be in love with. So there are so many books on my bookshelf which I look at and go, I know when I read you I'm going to love you, and then I read other books that I'm unsure about or I feel more obliged to read. It's the curse of a book reader's life. I don't know why we do this to ourselves, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this. You just kind of put off, it's like leaving the meat on your plate to the last and eating the vegetables first, you know? You just want to finish with a bang. Point aside, the one that I'm going to pick this time, the first one that I thought of, is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I read a Holly Black book last year, really enjoyed it, nice fluffy fantasy, heard great things about this one, so I'm really excited to read more of her books and explore more of her fantasy world, and I don't doubt this will be like a 4-star, if not 5-star read for me, I hope. So we'll see about that. That being said, there are definitely several other contenders of books that could easily take that title, such as Unearthed, Lear on the Offbeat, Furyborn, and We See Everything, not to mention at least 20 others. Question number 3. I Have a Dream. Name a book character that inspires you. Now, for some strange reason I can't really explain other than the fact that the character obviously did inspire me, this character from The Nightingale struck me at the first thing that I thought of after reading the question, and that is Isabel, who is sort of the secondary character. She's the sister to definitely the main character in the book, and it's a wartime story. It's a beautiful book. I'm a big fan of Kristen Hanna, let's put it that way. And Isabel is just very motivated and took so many risks throughout World War II to help other people that I don't think I would ever be brave enough to do. And I guess from that perspective, reading the book, I'm like, this woman is insane. She's risking everything to help people who need help. And it's very rewarding to read from that perspective, I suppose. But yeah, I just really connected with Isabel, even though she was a little bit of a loose cannon at times. Then as a secondary thought, another character who I thought was very inspiring and worth mentioning is Hans Huberman from The Book Thief. If you don't know who he is, you need to read the book, and I'm not telling you anymore because you need to read the book. Question number 4. Why did it have to be me? Name a book you went to get over a reading slump. Can I just say that this song was one of my favourites out of all the new ones that they added in. I thought this scene was really quite beautiful. I love it. I love it. It was funny. It was good. The one that I picked for this isn't so much one that I will go to every time because I don't reread books very often, but it is one that I recently picked up and it kicked me up the butt back into reading, and that was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This was a phenomenal book, one of my favourite reads of the year. It was just incredible, it was easy to read, I couldn't put it down. It's the first time in ages that I have multitasks whilst reading because I refuse to put the book down. If I ever get into a bad reading slump again, I might actually be tempted to pick it up and reread it. Question number 5, Andante, name your current read. My current read at the moment is The Honourable Thief by Megan Wilson Anastasius, and I was really excited about this. At the moment I am sort of creeping towards halfway very slowly. I'm a little disappointed. It's just not quite as exciting as I thought it would be. I really don't like the main character, but I'm pushing through. On the other hand, I am also rereading Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon, which is the second book in the Outlander series, and I'm loving that because holy moly, this series is amazing and the audiobooks are mwah. Question number 6, knowing me, knowing you. Name a book you had to break up with and DNF. This was a really hard question because I don't DNF very often, but when I actually looked on Goodreads at the number of books I've DNF'd, it's like 7. I've hardly ever just given up on a book. And I usually spend like an agonising month. Like, I should probably DNF my current read, but I'm not that disinterested in it. I don't know, I need to be stricter on these things. But, jumping back a few years, there was once a book called Raised by Wolves, which I read maybe about 20 pages of and decided it very much so wasn't for me and put it down. And yeah, I need to get better at DNFing books and move on to the books I know I'm going to love. Question number 7, Mamma Mia. Name a book you recently read again. The book I picked for this one is Tiger's Curse. It hasn't been super recent, I think it was actually last year, but that's pretty recent for me to do a reread. I really don't reread that much. There's probably maybe 5 books. No, I tell a lie. I reread all of Harry Potter last year, which was a great experience, but there's really not that many books I reread. I just don't seem to ever find the time for them, but this was a joy to reread. It's my favourite book, full stop, number 1, my favourite book ever. I love Colleen Houck and I love this book and I love this series. Question number 8, Dancing Queen. Name a book that made you want to dance around your room. I wasn't really sure how to interpret this one, and I was trying to think of a book that made me like excessively happy recently, but I've been reading like a lot of sad books. Like some of the books I've been really connecting to are Mouse, the graphic novel about World War II. They both die at the end. It's fairly self-explanatory. And other things along that line. But then I thought, you know what? Do you know what a book that made me really happy? It was Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I'm becoming increasingly obsessed by this series. You just watch. By the end of the year, I will have happily ploughed through all 6 million of the books in this series with any luck. This book does make me very happy. Question number 9, Super Trooper. Name a series you haven't finished due to its intimidating size. I originally read this as meaning a book whose next book I haven't read because it was big, and I picked the Assassin's Apprentice series by Robin Hobb for that because this is book 1 and this is book 2, and actually that doesn't look very dramatic on screen, but it's double the size of the first one and it wasn't the quickest of reads, so I was a little bit like, I am still a little bit like, I don't know if I can commit myself to it, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. But then again, this is only a 3-book series, so I don't know if it really counts. So my backup answer is The Shannara World by Terry Brooks. I have read Wards of Fairy, that's not it, Wards of Fairy, and really enjoyed it. It was a quick read, loved it. Obviously I then bought the sequel. I also then bought the original Shannara Chronicles book and a couple of others that are hiding on my bookshelf. I've got an obsession with Terry Brooks, having only read one of his books, but I just get a little bit overwhelmed when I think, yeah, what am I going to read next? And I haven't started at the beginning. I've started in a prequel series, so I don't know if I can read this one now or whether I should plough through this one. And then I have no idea where to go from here because he's written about 7 linked up series, and It stresses me out, guys. Those are all the questions for today though, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did like this video, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you're going to do the tag. I won't tag anyone in particular, so do let me know down in the comments if you do it. I would love to see your answers. And on another note, if you like my t-shirt, I do have a promotion code for you. I've been recently alerted to the existence of an online bookish merchandise company called Literary Book Gifts, and they sell t-shirts like this one, which is the Jungle Book if you can't see that, with the Rudyard Kipling, the author, on the bottom, and they do other classic book designs like Pride and Prejudice, Frankenstein, etc, etc, Hound of the Baskervilles, all things like that, and it's t-shirts and tote bags. Did I already say that? I can't remember. I have a 20% off promotion code for you, so if you wish, follow the link in the description below to the website, check out what they have, and if you use the promotion code OzBooksnail20, you can get 20% off any order, any number of times, and with no limit on what you have to purchase to get it. So that's my gift to you today, my darlings. If you want to see a full review on my thoughts and meanderings on what I think of this company, I have got a full review up on my blog, which I'll also leave linked down below for you to go and check out. Other than that, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye. That was weird.